The big question: would you buy to live, buy to let, or does Leeds need more investment before you even think about it? Right, let's have a butchers and see wagwan. This is a property currently listed with an estate agent. Today we are viewing a leasehold apartment on the 4th floor, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 ensuite. It comes with secure, allocated parking. Not sure if it's 1 or 2 lots. You would need to double check. You would also need to double check if the parking lot is free or there is some kind of additional service charge. The only outside space is a very tiny balcony. From Leeds train station, it is a 22-minute walk and a 9-minute cycle. There is no storage in this property. The EPC rating is C. We love a C rating, and the apartment is 65 square meters. This property is a repossession, and there are 2 other repossessed properties for sale in this development at the moment, and another 2 repossessed properties in the block that was sold last month. What's going on with the repossessions? It's like this property review, where there were just loads of repossessions in the development at the time. Video is linked at the end. Speaking of current stock, this is a repossession and this is a repossession currently on the market. So the repossessions are still coming up in that development. Buyer premium, what the buyer needs to pay the seller. No costs are highlighted, but this is not really something vendors charge for when listing a property with an estate agent. It's more for auctions. For leasehold properties, first thing, our priority question: is the property EWS1 compliant? Yes, it has recently achieved a B1 rating. I would like to know who paid for this, like the application, the fire engineer, etc. I would like to see 3 months worth of service charge invoice. See what's going on. Now, whether or not the block managers are going to give you that information, that's a different story. Maybe, or maybe they only speak to solicitors. Did the freeholders foot the cost? We need to know who paid for it. Is it the leaseholders that have been charged? Are the costs satisfied? We need to know before we can make an offer, as you don't want to buy this property and get slapped with a $5,000 service charge from day one. Long day. The lease length is 150 years from the 1st of January 2004, so there is 129 years left remaining. The ground rent is £200 per annum and the service charge is £1,647.24. Within the next 2 years, are there any Section 20 works proposed to the property? Don't have any information on this, but we do need to know this, as this determines the offer that is made. You don't want to start the conveyancing process only to find a £12,000 up and coming charge, like this property review. Video linked at the end. Don't know who the block managers are, but it's definitely worth finding out. I feel like the property looks worse than it actually is. There are repairs in the kitchen and bathroom that need addressing. It looks like there have been some leaks in a few places. Would you replace the kitchen and bathroom or just repair it? Not sure what's going on with the window situation. Maybe you can lie on the floor on a mattress and stare out of the window? Yes, a bit different. First time buyers, what are you thinking? This is a great apartment. If you're buying with a sibling or your bestie, it has 2 bathrooms, so no sharing. You just might need to play a game of noughts and crosses to see who gets the ensuite. Or if you are a couple, you can rent out the room with the ensuite. Let's have a look at the numbers as someone on minimum wage. Based on the guide of 125 grand at a mortgage rate of 6%, the monthly mortgage is £625. The ground rent and service charge monthly is £153.93. The property is in council tax band C. The costs are £938.99 per month. This video is a doubles, so that figure is divided by 2 people, which is £469.49 each before you buy bread or pay utility bills. Looking at rooms in the local area, what are they on the market for? If you rented the ensuite for £600 per month, that could possibly pay all the utility bills. This development is on the edge of the city centre, so it's roughly a 5-minute walk into town. Living in central Leeds for less than £470 per month. That is good. That is very, very good. In fact, let's do the numbers again with a deep dive on this apartment. The guide is 125 grand. Let's say you put an offer of 118 grand and that's accepted. 15% deposit is £17,700, making the mortgage 100 grand and £300. Average credit rating for both parties, let's say we get a mortgage rate of 4%. The monthly mortgage is £334.33. The ground rent, service charge and council tax is the same, obviously. The costs are £648.32 before you buy bread or pay utility bills. Again, divide that by 2 people and that's £324.16 each. Let's say you rented the ensuite to a younger sister, 18, just started her first job working part-time. You let her have the room for £450 a month. I feel like £450 a month can still pay possibly all the utility bills per month, and that does include broadband, and the apartment is all electric and has no gas. Would you do this? Would you buy a property with a partner or your bestie and have a friend or a family member as a lodger? £325 is your contribution in this economy. That is incredible. How about this? You move in with your partner and one partner pays all the bills, including the food, and the other partner pays for all the luxuries like eating out and holidays. How does that sound? As exciting as these numbers are, let's keep this thing balanced. You have no control over the service charge, so we can enjoy these numbers today, but come April, the service charge might be 2 grand a year, and that changes the expenses. Landlords, we are up north. Do you think you will get a 10% gross yield on this property? Looking at rentals, what are 2-bed, 2 baths in the local area on the market for? What's going on with all these reductions? Is it the time of year? Are properties slow to rent during the Christmas season? The last property review, it was the same thing. The rents were just reducing. Or is something more going on with Leeds city centre rents? Looking at short-term rentals in the local area, how much can we charge per night for 6 guests? Normally, we look at the rate for 4 people as there is only 1 bathroom, but this apartment has 2 bedrooms, so we can stretch to 6 guests. At £149 per night, 15 nights is £2,235, which covers all the bills and some of the maintenance, the OTAs and the housekeepers, etc. Just to also mention, it is not every development that allows short-term rentals. Let's do the Jim Jam test. Is a local shop close enough to pop in our Jim Jams on a Sunday morning? Looking at sales, what are 2-bed, 2 baths in the area on the market for? Let's have a look at the sales history of the property and if the property sold. And we have our shop.